Not many writers can command contracts on the scale of Major League Baseball players, but then not many writers have followings like Patricia Cornwell's. The creator of the K. Scarpetta crime novel series is known for her relentless research and her attention to detail. Books like Post-Mortem, The Body Farm, and Cause of Death focus on the process of solving a crime. Her latest work is the first in a new series with new characters in a new city, Charlotte, North Carolina. It is called Hornet's Nest, and I am pleased to have her back on this program. Welcome.
Thank you. This is great.
It's great to have you. This is a departure for you and a new character, still the same idea. It's not a mystery. It is a crime novel. What's the difference?
Well, mysteries tend to have conventions of the genre. They're sort of formula. They're a puzzle to be solved. And my books are not that. The Scarpetta books, of course, are very different from this, but they're really about life and death and forensics and the way real cases are worked. Hornet's Nest, again, I have a lot of veracity in this. It's not something to be solved. It's not a mystery at all because it's really rather humorous. That may strike you as odd because most people don't think of me as funny. But this is that side of police work, that side of the street, sort of the far side of the street that people like Marino know all about, but you never see it in Scarpetta's world. And I know it all too well, and I thought, I'm going to let my readers have a little fun with this.
You know it all too well because of your research or because a long time ago you were a crime reporter?
I used to be a crime reporter. I was a volunteer police officer for 4.5 years in Richmond and rode around in uniform just like Andy Brazil does. I was always getting in trouble. And, you know, it's in, like the scene where there's a funeral procession that gets routed the same way as a parade, and he's directing traffic. Can you imagine the nightmare that is where you got all these hearses and floats all going the same way? I actually had the same thing happen to me when I was in uniform one time, and so I'm telling you some of my own funny stories. So it's based on a lot of experience.
But in an interesting way, Andy is a young reporter who started out by doing the television listings, which is certainly what happened to you at the Charlotte Observer.
And he went to Davidson.
And he went to Davidson, where you went to school, and where you got married.
Played tennis and all those things. Yeah, and we even drove the same car. He has this old beat-up BMW 2002 that he's always fixing the little BMW shield on the hood with, you know, airplane model paint. And I used to do the same thing with mine. The difference is he could actually fix what was under the hood, and I absolutely could not.
So he's you, and Virginia West is not you.
No, Andy sort of, you know, Andy would be my perfect brother if you know, sort of like a twin.
Your perfect brother would have all of your ID.
Well, I mean, he's, you know, he's sort of like if I were a guy, you know, this is what I would be like, and it's again a little bit of a spoof. But I wanted to try something different. I mean, I haven't had a male as a main character in my work, and I thought it would be fun. But at the same time, I don't pretend to be, you know, to write some really terrifying, brilliant sort of crime novel here. This is, again, something that's kind of light and sort of fun.
When you created Virginia West, who's the hero here, right?
Well, it depends on how you want to look at it. Some people would think she is, some would think Andy, and some would think Chief Hammer.
All right, Judy Hammer,
right.
Police chief.
Yes.
All right. Virginia West is the deputy, and she's 42, and she's beautiful.
Right.
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 And what do you have in mind when you create a character like that?
They're real people like that. Do you have a
person in mind? Do you have somebody you know in mind? Do you have an actress in mind?
No, not anybody I know, but I know of, you know, powerful, high-ranking policewomen that are attractive and smart-mouthed and tough and all that good stuff. And so I thought it was, you know, it's fun to show that. It's again like the chief. I know people like Chief Hammer who wear, you know, pearls and high heels, but they've got their pistol in their pocketbook, and you know, she could save the day when a bus is held hostage, and she does. So, and I just think that's loads of fun, and because I've seen it, I can show it to you in a way that should make you believe it.
What do these novels begin with for you? I mean, you have these characters, a new set of characters. With Kay, you've got your central character on. You just continue, you write new stories around her. Right. Here, you've created new characters. Where did this begin, this idea of doing something different in a different locale?
It began last February when I was talking to my dear agent, Esther Newberg, whom you love so much, too. Yeah,
because she doesn't pay her bills.
Yeah, that's right. Let's tell everybody that.
She loses her bets and then she doesn't pay up.
I'm going to have to work on her about this. But anyway, I'd finished Unnatural Exposure, which is the Scarpetta book that will come out in July. And so I said, Esther, I would like to try something else because I can't write these, I write these books faster than we can really put them out now because this is my 8th one. And
wait, we write them faster than we can put them out because you need a certain space between them in order to maximize the marketing.
They're going to do about one a year. That's pretty much what they do always.
And how fast do you write them?
Well, I can write them faster than that now because I've been doing it for a while. I have people to help me facilitate the research and so forth. And I know Scarpetta's world so well that it's not going to take me 12 months to do one of these books now. It might take me 8, something like that.
So how'd you do this one, and what did it begin with?
Well,
other than the fact you have this
she said, do you have any other ideas? I said, I actually do. I said, going back to my newspaper days and more about cops, which I don't write about, I'd like to play around with that thought. She said, go ahead and do it. Why don't you write a screenplay or something? So I did. Everyone liked the characters. They said, why don't you try it as a book? I started that. They loved it. Putnam bought it. And I finished it. And I said, this will be fun. My readers are always saying, can't you write more quickly or do more than one book? Because we'd like to read other things by you. So it's like, okay, readers, here we are. So I hope you like it.
Is it going to be a movie?
It could very well be. I don't know right now. It's a little soon.
Yeah. Do you have in mind someone for Virginia West, and do you have in mind someone for Andy Brazil?
No, I don't have any specific people in mind. How about you? Do you have any thoughts on that?
No, I don't. But I mean, I was just thinking about. I could think of someone like, Meryl Streep would be great.
She'd be great at anything.
Yeah, I know, but she's a great actress as well as she's,
Glenn Close.
Glenn Close would be good.
Wonderful. Andy. There's a lot of really nice-looking, fun guys.
Would be my choice for that.
Okay. Well, there you go. So all kinds of possibilities. Actually, much easier probably to put together than Scarpetta, which is so loaded down now.
Their relationship is the key to the story, is it not?
It's very important,
it's part of it, the dynamic of that relationship.
They start out, they don't like each other. She doesn't want to ride with him. He doesn't want to ride with her.
Yeah, and she's bothered by having him tailing around.
And next thing you know, they've got a very interesting bit of tension and so forth going on.
Yeah.
When they steam up the windows at the truck stop.
Really? Now, tell me about Kate. You've already written another Scarpetta. It's finished.
Yes.
And it'll be out
July.
Yeah.
Right.
Why doesn't somebody do a Scarpetta series for film or television?
Well,
what's the reason it doesn't happen?
That's the mystery of the day. That's the real mystery. We've gone 2 years now trying to put together a movie from Potter's Field.
Yeah.
Most recently, Universal, and we've had to unplug that for now because we just couldn't get it all together in time to film for wintertime. So that's 2 years in a row where that's fallen apart. So I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to regroup with ICM and so forth and try to figure.
Speaking of ICM and Esther and all that, $24 million.
Right.
The new contract. Right.
That's right.
Putnam.
That's right. With Putnam. That's for 3 Scarpetta books.
3 Scarpetta books, and you walk away with, and you can do the Scarpetta book in 2 months.
Well,
easy.
I wish I could do it in 2 months. But no, but I could do it in.
This is $24 million for less than a year's work for you. Yes.
Well, $24 million is 3 books, so that.
I know, but you can write each one in 2 or 3 months, and so that's less than a year.
Well, I can't do it in 2 or 3 months. No, I'm not that fast. That would frighten even me if I could do them that fast. But no, I literally, definitely 3 books in 3 years. Could even possibly do them in a little less, depending. I never know. I mean, the books have a life of their own, and some are quicker than others. So, one could be 3 months faster than another, just depending on how the research goes. Unnatural Exposure was a lot of research in infectious diseases and so forth. But still, the process is getting quicker. I hope that stays true.
You were born where?
Miami.
In Miami. You soon found yourself, after the divorce of your parents, in Montreat, North Carolina.
Yes.
Where the great Billy Graham and Ruth Graham live.
Yes.
Your mother had was it mental problem?
Depression.
Depression, okay.
Right.
She goes to the Graham house.
Yes.
And she wants somebody to help her.
That's right.
And Ruth Graham invites you in, fixes lunch or whatever she does.
She did.
Yeah. And arranges what?
Well, Mom wanted us to stay with them, and she did the right thing. It was really a very noble. I mean, she didn't know these people.
How big is Montreat? It's like
200 people.
200 people, yeah.
But still, that's a pretty gutsy thing to walk your kids up to Billy Graham's house.
It's like going to God, isn't it?
Yes, and in a way it was. But she knew she couldn't take care of us at that point, that she was too depressed and things were just really, really bad. And so she walked us up there in the snow, and their caretaker took us the rest of the way. It was very high up in his old Jeep, and that's the first time I ever met Ruth. She came to the door, and there's smoke coming out of the chimney of this century-old log cabin, basically. And what a beautiful, kind woman. I'll never forget it. I still can see her right now. I was 9 years old, and I wanted her to keep us, too. In fact, I told her when I did her biography, I was paying her back for giving us to them.
Yeah, the first thing you did was her biography, wasn't it?
Yeah, when I was in my early 20s, and said, that's what you gave me away, and now I'm back. So here we go.
Yeah. You went to Davidson.
Yes.
A small school outside of Charlotte.
Right.
Met your future husband, who was an English professor while you were a student.
Yes.
You were married for about 10 years.
It's 9, right.
9 years.
He was one of my professors. He was right across the...
Fell in love with your professor, huh?
Absolutely. I mean, I did. I always got crushes.
You were junior, senior when this happened?
I got a crush on him the very first time I saw him. I was 19, and my advisor's office was right across the hall, and I saw Charlie walking in, and he was looking at something on his lectern in there, and I said to Tony, I said, who is that man? Yeah. And that was, that went on for about 3 years, and then finally we started going out after I graduated, and we got married.
So you didn't start dating until after you graduated?
No, we didn't, even though I wanted to, but he was smarter than that.
You would have done anything, wouldn't you?
I would have, absolutely.
You wanted your man.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Took all his classes, made A's in them.
I bet you did. And so then you split, and then you moved to Richmond.
Well, we went to Richmond first.
Oh, that's right. You went with him to Richmond.
And then we got divorced, I guess, back in '88. We got separated then. But he moved there to go to seminary. And
while he was there, you got interested because of the influence. Tell me how you started as a writer.
Well, I did the Ruth Graham book first, and after that was over with. It wasn't a crime novel. She might think it is sometimes, but after that was over with.
The more she knows about you.
She says, is there anything true about this book?
Or anything true about you.
That's true. Well, that may be so as well. But anyway, I did that, and then I started doing the research in forensics and crime and all that, and that took me to the morgue, and one thing led to another. I eventually got a job there, which is a great way to...
But there was somebody who played a big deal role in your life at that time. Who was that?
That would be the deputy chief medical examiner, who's now the chief of Virginia, a woman, whose name was? Who is Marcella Fierro.
Yeah, well, that's right.
She's still the chief of Virginia, and Marcella was... She was so sweet to put up with me all the time. I followed her everywhere.
And she's the one that told you to go out and be a police person, whatever it was.
That's right. She said, I said, I want to watch an autopsy. She said, get some legitimacy. I said, how? And she said, I don't know, become a volunteer police officer. I think she thought that would blow me off.
Did you have writing talent at this time, or did that simply come because you knew your story and you learned to read?
Well, according to the critics of the Ruth biography, I did not.
Well, not only that, when you tried to sell your first novel, it took you through a lot of rejections before you finally found somebody, and then immediately it won some awards.
I started in 1984. My first novel, I did not get published till 1990. And by then, I'd been working in the morgue for almost 6 years, and I thought that was going to be my career forever.
Dealing with this.
Doing statistics and computer things. It was very depressing. Yeah. Very depressing, and I thought, I've been being punished for something I must have done that I don't remember, because this is pretty bad.
And now that you've got all this money and all this success, what turns you on? What makes you happy?
Well, I guess several things. One, and this may sound pious, but I swear I mean it, I love having a foundation and being able to do charitable work, and, giving money to good causes. That is really a big kick, the sort of thing we all wish we could do. And the writing still is my biggest joy. I mean, yes, it's wonderful to get nice press or, to get money like this and all that, but the biggest kick is to write a book that you're excited about.
Yeah, it's a solitary existence.
It is. I think being a writer, there's no other thing it can be. It's very solitary because you have to do that part of it alone, and it's what you do most of the time.
Patricia Cornwell, Hornet's Nest is the new crime novel, not Kay Scarpetta, but Virginia West and Andy Brazil. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Judy, what's her, the chief is named Judy?
Hammer.
Hammer, right. Patricia Cornwell, we'll be right back. Stay with us.